Boxes, boxes, boxes. This is big in esports, okay? Similar to the Brady Bunch very long time ago. Esports is all about box effects when you're in the game. I liken esports coverage to boxing coverage in certain respects, which is in boxing, once the round gets started, you're not cutting away from the boxers, okay? That would be madness. Between rounds, you can show that Kim Kardashian's in the crowd, and oh, is that Jamie Foxx sitting next to her? Well, what's that all about, right? But if you did it mid-round, you'd be fired on the spot because the uppercut that knocks the other guy out can come at any instant. And it's the exact same in esports. The goal that's going to be scored could just suddenly happen to you, right? So you can't cut away. However, right, I want to tell stories. I want my audience to find something that they can relate with when I'm producing or directing a show. So I need faces to do that. So this is our solution, is we do a lot of box effects in esports, right? You'll hear them called pips. They're not talking about like multi-view heads or what we might more traditionally call pips, picture-in-picture. We might usually I call it DVEs. Technically, that's what it is. But if you hear somebody in esports talking about pips, just know that this is what they're referring to, okay? Just a language barrier, that's all. So yeah, this was an example from the Rocket League Championship Series in which these boxes lived at all time when we were in game, and we never missed a reaction. We could use instant replay after the match to show emotion, full screen, and that sort of thing, but anyway, you get the idea. The last thing to talk about is the in-game director or the observer room, right? It's nothing complicated, it's just an ISO director. They've been doing it in NASCAR for a very long time now, right? Where it's a sub switch that's cutting the in-game feeds that are being observed by virtual cameras, right? And then that gets sent up to the main show production control room, the main show gallery, as a sub switch. That's all it is. So this is all of it coming together. As you'll see, we have a complete end-to-end solution here with Ross equipment. You can do everything. We even sometimes you'll see here up at the top, I don't know, you don't get to see my mouse, but the Shoutcaster station, that caster control station, we've actually built custom dashboard panels for esports clients that allowed the casters to sort of cut the show themselves because they probably knew the video game better than anybody else in the room, right? And so they were sort of like a micro TD. They knew what they wanted to look at. They knew what the audience cared about. So we just built a custom dashboard panel, put them on a touch screen, and boom, they could go ham. They could telestrate if they wanted to. It was awesome. We also have a storage solution at Ross. This is a really especially powerful one because it makes the capture immediately available for post. So every camera, every angle, you just need enough mirrors, really, can be encoded so that posts can start working with every single tool at their disposal. Like the especially exciting one is with Mira because we have growing file, right? So if an editor is working in Adobe Premiere, all he has to do is set his refresh rate, and then he'll watch his timeline grow as the show is being cut live in the truck, right? And then he can start chopping it up, making edits, and it's all living on the Evo, which Mira can play directly off of. So it's just instantly available from post back into the live environment. So why Ross? We have a high-impact, high-efficiency line of products, that's why. This is what esports needs. Esports doesn't have big NFL-level budgets. It might not ever. The entire industry is starting to feel the squeeze already of what online streaming is doing to our revenue models, right? So we need to be able to still deliver that really high-quality viewing experience, though, right? So that's what we're focused on at Ross. When you're talking to an esports customer, I always want it to be very easy. When I walk to the Starbucks to get my pumpkin spice basic latte, right? I want a very easy experience. They ask me what size, small, medium, or large. Medium, thank you, right? So we want it to be just as easy on our esports clients as that is, because a lot of esports people are brand new to this too. They don't necessarily understand exactly what it is they're walking into when they're talking about live video production. They know video games, they know how to tell a story, they know what the kids at home want, but they don't really work in the same sort of environments with the same sort of equipment that we do, right? So we need to be able to answer a lot of their questions in order to serve them. And then we can get them involved with something small and then offer them scaling solutions, right? So a great example of one of our products that is perfect for brand new startup esports companies is Graphite. Graphite gets you a carbonite solo frame with up to 13 inputs and 8 outputs. It's got expression built into it with expression clips, and those are all built into the internal system. So you actually are effectively getting 8 additional inputs out of your 13. So it's more like a 20 input switcher, really, because the graphics and the clips are already in the internal system, right? That's perfect for an esports show where you got 3 cameras, you got an observer in the back, you got graphics, and then a Mira Express for replay. So graphics would be, you got 3 cameras, observer, graphics, 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 replay, 12 inputs, right? That's all you need to put on a pretty high quality show when the kids are playing at home and you're just connecting in remote with your observer, right? From there, you can start to scale up. This is an example of a kit that I worked on for years when I was working freelancing at ESL. This is effectively the same kit that they used. This is a Carbonite Ultra. We had a Carbonite Black at ESL. Just a little bit bigger I/O count really is the main difference at that point. And Ultra also has some really cool additional features that the Carbonite Black line didn't have. But anyway, as you can see, this is all you need to put on a pretty high quality esports stream. Now you got the players live in studio, and it's a 5-on-5. So you got cameras on all their faces, you got a couple observers, you're able to do live graphics and replay. And then this is going big, right? This is bringing in our large production switcher, the Acuity, which, by the way, is an amazing product for esports. Remember I was talking about boxes, boxes, boxes? Well, the Acuity's got 16 channels of 2D DVE per ME. You can ask the competition. I don't need to say anything more, but it's unbelievable, right? And we can do the entire production, as you can see, from this venue to the broadcast to the observer room, the player pods, all on a shared system core, all in a ROS environment, taking advantage of functionalities like dashboard to make the job easy, right, for the operators. ROS talk for issuing commands in two-way communication between our devices. When I talk about scalable solutions, I want you guys to understand a little bit about what I mean, right? So this is Drew Ohlmeyer. He comes from a legendary sports family. And he was the head of content at Esports Arena, a customer of ours. Now he's with EA Sports, another customer of ours, so he kept it in the family. But when they opened the Esports Arena at the Luxor, they had 7 continuous nights of coverage, and they did 5 different video games. One of them was a 1v1, a couple of them were 5v5, and one of them was a 150-player free-for-all. And they needed one kit that could do all of that. That made economical sense when they just got an Xbox and a couple cameras with graphics and replay, but then also had the power to do Battle Royale when they had 150 people all over the show floor, right? So, like I said, different games have different requirements. Another thing is that these esports companies are more cost-minded, right? So when you give them a product maybe like a Carbonite Ultra, maybe they're going to start with only 8 inputs and 1 ME. But then all they have to do is make a phone call, hey, I need another ME. Great, no problem, it's yours. Software, it's unlocked now, enjoy, right? There's another quote I wanted to go over with a customer of ours from the Esports Stadium Arlington. This is Corey Dunn. He's been in esports for a long time, and he brings up an important point, which is when you're doing esports production, you're going to have this sort of mishmash of crew, okay, where you're going to have some really highly technically skilled people, usually on like the engineering side, and then you're going to have a lot of gamers who are still learning, but they need to be able to operate this equipment, and they need to be able to put on a really high quality show in order to stand out amongst the competition, because there's a ton of it out there, right? And we need to be able to provide solutions that serve both of those. Like I said, very often untrained operators, the company will put them on an expression for a couple weeks and then, hey, figure it out, right? This is where dashboard, our control system, really shines. You still need someone who can really own the production from an engineering, a technical, creative standpoint, right, to build the dashboard. But we've built dashboards for like Mercedes-Benz Stadium, for instance, during that wow moment on kickoff, where the entire stadium, the fascias, the ribbons, the LED boards, water cannons, pyro, the music, it's all going off at once. And in an older traditional workflow, it would have taken a lot of people hitting a lot of buttons at the same time, right? And in our workflow, you just put it on dashboard and you click kickoff. And then the whole thing goes ham, right? This is very, very functional in esports, where you've got these young operators who don't necessarily know how to get into expression and build a new graphic when the producer wants one, right? Or how to set ins and outs and create playlists in Amira. You just make it very easy. It's just a series of buttons and a customizable GUI. Another thing about Ross is that we're known for being very reliable, right? Esports to this day, even as we're getting better, is still largely synonymous with technical difficulties in our productions. There's just production value is a meme in Twitch chat. It's known. If you watch Twitch, you know about hashtag production value. It's kind of the nerve-wracking and beautiful thing of streaming to Twitch is that you're getting this just constant stream of feedback. So if you think you had a cool idea for like a fun joke or a fun graphic, you're gonna know immediately whether it played as soon as it hits the air, thanks to Twitch chat, right? I don't have the slide, but one of our kind of founding codes of ethics, right, from David Ross, is we will not ship crap. I like to say we will not knowingly ship crap, right? Sometimes things happen, right? But our care and our service is unmatched in the industry. And if we accidentally ship you something that we can't commission, we're going to have you an absolutely operable system in no time, I promise you that. So if you guys are out there trying to find esports business, where should you be focused, right? Where are we focused as Ross? Colleges and universities is a burgeoning market that is swelling right now and ready to really, really explode. Full Sail University has built a full dedicated esports arena capable of hosting an Overwatch League home game with really high production value. UCI's got a great arena just down the road in Orange County, University of Utah, and there's going to be a lot more to come. I promise you that. Even if they don't have plans for a full-scale arena or something, they're all looking at esports right now, and it makes perfect sense because it's, if nothing more, it's a great recruiting tool. If you're showing some kids around campus and they're 18 years old, dollars to donuts, 70% of them or so are going to know about esports and be into it. And so you could be like, oh, by the way, yeah, we got this great esports arena, right? All the kids come together Friday nights. They do scrimmages of League and Overwatch. Yeah, you're going to have a great time when you come to our school, right? Also, it could potentially turn into a revenue stream for the schools, right? Another area you should be focused is in small to mid-sized productions. The international, the Fortnite World Cup, Riot, they're the business card of esports, okay? But the real bulk of the work being done in esports right now is in small to medium-sized studio spaces, okay? For us at Ross, it's sort of where our reputation precedes us. I get it all the time, and I combat it, but like I tell them I'm with Ross, they're like, oh, yeah, Carbonite and Expression. So yes, Carbonite and Expression, but a lot more than that. But this is really where, like I said, the majority of the programming is living right now, is in small to mid-sized productions. And last, venues that can offer sort of turnkey production. America's in a funny spot right now with dedicated esports venues because everybody's sort of waiting to see a little bit more about how it goes in Vegas and how it goes in Arlington. The next big project, which just broke ground about 3 weeks ago, is the Fusion Arena in Philadelphia. It's going to be a $50 million project, right? In the West, we're still waiting to see how that is going to play out. Are those companies going to be profitable, right? However, internationally, this has already been going on for a long time, right? China, South Korea, Europe, I just met with some guys at IBC, well, the other three-letter acronym, right? At IBC that are building a dedicated esports arena in Amsterdam. All right, so they're going up all over the place, and they want to be able to provide broadcast and venue control solutions unified, because if you're a production company and you can go directly to the arena and they're like, oh, by the way, you no need to call NEP. We got everything you need right here, and we're saving you $5,000 a day when you pay our fee instead of paying NEP also to come in, or whatever it would be, right? Obviously, that's pretty attractive. So I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to go kind of quickly through a case study of HyperX Esports Arena in Las Vegas. They're a Ross customer. We got involved with both broadcast control and their screens control, and I'll go kind of quickly through it. In the control room, we got Carbonite Black pluses. We've got some Expression Studio engines in there. This I actually need to update because we just shipped them out a 12-channel, which is like our newest Mira, right? And they're using dashboard. You can see the guy Riley, who's bent over in the shot. He had 0 production experience before he got the job at HyperX Esports Arena, and I'm going to show you a couple pictures of what he's able to do now in less than a year. We also are in the LED display control. We got the video scaler Carbonite Mosaic. I won't get too deep into the weeds, but basically we took the frame of the Carbonite, got rid of some of the room that, like we don't need a chroma keyer for image scaling, right? We don't need some of that stuff that was taking up space, and made it a really powerful image scaler. We're using Expression Tessera, which allows you to create pixel-accurate canvases up to 2 billion pixels. And that's how we're firing off things in like the Mercedes-Benz Arena. It's going to be in all sorts of arenas coming up soon, too. My boss, Kevin's really just been taking over the world with sports venue unified control. We're also controlling all of these screens with low latency video through the Carbonite Mosaic. When we first got into HyperX, they were using like Grass and Viz stuff, and they couldn't get low latency video, and they were having all sorts of workflow problems, right? So they can do full takeovers on each one of these, and each one of these is its own canvas where they can put whatever they want in there. It's a live player picture. It's his first-person POV from the video game. It could be data-driven graphics. It can be whatever they want it to be, right? So as you can see, we got a single operator here connected to a dashboard server, which is connected to the primary Tessera. And that single operator, as you can see, is firing 5 expression engines, going through several switchers, mosaics, all to get out to all of their LED displays, right? This is how we've stitched together the canvas of the LEDs. This is the player pods, each one of them individually controllable. And this is, you're going to see it in a second, the video that I'm going to wrap my presentation up with. This really cool kind of like dome ribbon that they have when you first walk in. I could talk about it, but we did a live shot at NAB last year, and a colleague of mine, Greg Koo, probably does a much better job than I would anyway, so I'll let him sort of finish off my presentation for me.
Yeah, so we're here at the beautiful HyperX Esports Arena. The folks here have given me the ability to give you a backstage tour of what they do here at the arena. The first display we're going to take a look at, driven by Expression Tessera, is this massive 5,632 pixel dome display. All right, let's go check out the rest of the place. Now in here, this is their main arena area. They can host up to 90 players for any given event. Up on the stage here on the main displays, again, Expression Tessera, Carbonite Mosaic, doing all the processing for these main displays. Now up on the stage, they can have up to 12 player pods. Each player pod has its own designated key fill channel, as well as its own designated program. So we can treat these all independently, or as one canvas. Now, right now, they have a Fortnite matchmaking tournament going on. So these 6 players are the best players in this tournament, while everybody else out there should be trying to beat their score and take their spot here on the stage. All right, let's go check out the control room. Now, this is my favorite part of the arena. This here is the hype tunnel. All the LED displays in the arena can be controlled with dashboards. So we can do full stadium takeovers, all from just a single click, any dashboard in the facility. Right over here, we're gonna have the control room. Inside the control room, we have Riley. Riley's working on all the expression graphics for the front of house or back of house. Here we have Austin. Austin's cutting the show, again, for the back house as well as the streaming on his Carbonite and dashboard. The HyperX Esports Arena is constantly growing. They're actually going to be one of the first customers with the 12-channel Abacus Mira. Pretty awesome stuff. The HyperX Esports Arena is open to the public, so whether you're here for NAB or any time throughout the year, stop by, come check out some cool stuff they're doing. Send it back to you guys.